So changing topics, we both went to EAG, and that was interesting.
Hmm.
For those who don't know, EAG is like the Effective Altruism Global Conference or something. A bunch of people who. So Effective Altruism is basically a movement where it got kind of famous when Sam Bankman-Fried got in jail, and he was a big proponent of it. And the general idea is that you should allocate your money in effective ways. So basically, don't go to the first charity that you see and give money to that. You should actually do your research on which charities do the most good for the least amount of money. And I think there's pretty good evidence that some charities are like 1,000 times more effective. So you can spend $10 on one charity, and that gives you as much outcome as spending 10,000 on another charity. That is a very hard thing to quantify because probably, yeah, there's like what is value in a charity. So basically, like one example people give is like, okay, but if you save someone who's stuck at sea and you need like 10 different helicopters to look for them, that might be super expensive, and you save one life compared to like buying a million malaria nets and saving so many people from malaria for the same money. And that's basically what EA is, effective altruism. And then so we are somewhat adjacent related to this with our company. We do AI safety, and a big part of EA lately has been AI safety
The
because
biggest.
by far the biggest. Uh, because yeah, many of them believe that AI will be a very big threat to, and we do as well. So yeah, what's your because I've been kind of related to AI, or like I agreed with many of the philosophies for maybe 10 years or something. But
Mm.
you're kind of new to this crowd. What is your
Yeah.
relationship to EA?
Yeah, I am new. I guess I don't before EAG, before we went there, like my relationship was AI safety, which I guess I didn't connect too much to EA when I thought about AI safety. And then also like I read some things like some Peter Singer, like who is the founder, right? Kind of, you can say, or of the ideas.
I don't. I'm not sure, but he's a
I
big
th
part of it at least.
he's like the I guess he is the philosopher that uh coined or started many
Okay.
of the ideas. I
Okay.
think that
Yep.
surrounds EA. Like read a bit of that, like very little, but yeah. So I guess you could say that I have very little exposure to EA, but knew what it was.
Mm.
And yeah, I think the experience after EAG is like it's cool. Like it's such a mix of ideas that you wouldn't think exist in under one framework. So just for context, there's like the AI safety, which was like 80, 90% of everything that happened there was AI safety. It was also in the Bay Area, so I think there are a lot of AI
Yeah.
people here. Um, but it was there is the mix of AI safety, and then you have animal welfare, which I'm also like really interested in, which is like an interesting mix. Just starting with that. But yeah, it's just a lot of people that have thought really hard about these things.
Yeah.
Um, I can
What were
say
your
that,
takeaways?
yeah, people are very concerned about AI safety. It's a very
Yes.
short take. I mean, we are to some extent as well. Um, People are very open to meet new people. I think yeah, I wouldn't, I was surprised at how, how approachable people were. Someone you sort of know or know about, someone who's like semi-famous in the AI safety space would definitely take a one-on-one with you for 30 minutes. I think
Yeah.
that's pretty rare. So I think
Yes.
that's one of the like big takeaways for me. Yeah.
Mm.
What do you
Mm.
say?
Yeah. I so yeah, I read Peter Singer and got pretty convinced like 10 years ago, but I never really engaged with the community. I think that was partly because I feel like the community is bit. I'm reluctant to say it, but like too negative, or like it makes sense to be negative because it's like I do my P do more like probability that AI will just kill the entire world is significantly high. Like it's like I don't know exactly, but it's like maybe 10% or something. And this is like huge. It's like if this is true, then there would, and like it's the thing I work with. So, but like that, then everyone should work with that. Like 10% that humanity dies, so that people are concerned. But like I don't feel that in my heart for some reason. It's weird. I My logical brain accepts that it's probably like something like 10%. But
Yeah.
then my heart is not scared at all. And that is
Yeah.
weird. And then I've not really felt at home at these meetups because I'm simultaneously really excited about AI progress, which it feels like you're not really allowed to be. And like I feel like I shouldn't be allowed to be that excited about it
Mm.
when I add on my logic.
Yeah.
But I think that's why I haven't really engaged with the community that much, yeah, in the previous years. But
Yeah.
now, like I agree, like now I've done it, and I think I've maybe gotten over the hurdle of people being negative, and I see it's very reasonable to be negative. And also, like there's another aspect of it. Like before, I'm always very, I don't want to be associated with like a group. Like when
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, I was an intern at Google, and then we got all of this merch, and we got a really nice backpack, and I felt it was super cringe to have a Google backpack. So so I removed the logo. Like I spent like maybe an hour to remove the logo from the backpack, so I could still wear the backpack without the logo because I didn't want to be associated with the group. And like in
Mm.
the same way, I didn't want to be part of the group. But now, when everyone hates EA because of like the controversy with everyone doesn't hate EA, but like the reputation is much worse than it once was. And now I'm like, I can wear an EA shirt because it feels kind of, I don't know, provocatory or or fun, and then I'm okay being part of a group, I guess. So
Yeah.
that's a bit weird.
Oh. Mm. Yeah. It's interesting.
I think
Yeah.
also, so but I'm not like sure that I 100%. So I was very sure when I read Peter Singer the first time that this sounds super reasonable. Like surely it's better to save 1 million people from malaria rather than one person from drowning at sea in their like uh, millions of dollar boat. And but then like as I've grown older, I think I've like yeah, I'm more open to other perspectives, I guess, which is everyone does when they get older. And I
Yeah.
see the unreasonable, like I think Tucker Carlson when he interviewed Sam Bankman-Fried from prison, which
Oh
by the
yes.
way was a
Very
crazy,
interesting interview. Crazy
yeah.
interview. The
But he
muffin
asked,
economy, which he talked about. I recommend listening to it actually.
yeah,
It
it's pretty good.
feels a bit weird to recommend a Tucker Carlson podcast, but it was crazy. It was like, yeah, you get an insight into how
Yeah,
prisons sort of
yeah.
work.
But he questioned the fact that EA has the philosophy of putting people in like other countries before the people in your closest circles. And this is weird. This is like not how humans operate. And of course, it's not how I operate either. If I could save one person close to me compared to like one person in on the other side of the world, yes, I would do that. But I think it's not that, like when you add the numbers and it's like 1 million versus one, then it's very hard to to make the case for the one person.
Yeah, yeah. It feels like there's definitely like a scale on how determined you
Mm,
can be on that you need to save as many as possible. I think
mm,
it sounds very reasonable that you have some exceptions. I'm sure that some people don't have any exceptions at all. I mean, I know some other people do. But I mean, yeah, it makes sense. Like if you're sort of emotional beings. So I think it makes sense.